What is up, guys? It's Nightwing19 here with my review for the premiere episode of Arrow Season 3. Now, I'm going to give you guys a recap of the episode, give you my overall rating, what I liked about the episode, what I didn't like about the episode, and I'm also going to be throwing in some of my thoughts, the things that happened in this episode, and how I see how those things are going to carry on throughout the rest of the season, and then right down to my top 10 moments. The reason I'm doing 10 is because this is the season premiere, and a lot happened. Like, a lot. So, let's get started with the recap. Following Season 2, the Arrow is embraced as a hero by the people of Starling City after defeating Slade and his Miracru army. Captain Lance calls off his anti-vigilante task force. Elsewhere, Werner Zeidel, who has claimed the mantle of Vertigo, attempts to kill Arrow in a bid to raise his profile. After losing the first battle, Oliver and Roy are able to stop Zeidel, along with some help from Sara, who is back in town. Meanwhile, businessman Dr. Ray Palmer successfully acquires Queen Consolidated under a plan of rebuilding the city and renaming it Star City. Laurel helps Lance deal with his health issues, and Diggle and Lila welcome a baby girl, which convinces Diggle to take Oliver's suggestion and retire from field duty. After visiting with Laura, Sara is shot in the chest with arrows by an unseen figure and falls from a rooftop to her death in front of Laurel. In the flashbacks, Amanda Waller tries to force Oliver to work for her and assigns Agent Masao Yamashiro as his handler. After numerous failed attempts to escape, Oliver agrees to proceed with his training to prevent Waller from killing Masao's family as punishment for his failure to restraining Oliver. The season premiere was amazing from beginning to end, starting with the season opener, the way the season opened, and all the way down to Sara's death. I didn't like how Count Vertigo scenes were short. We particularly only had about 4 or 5 scenes of him, but you know, that's the only problem I had with this episode. We only saw Count Vertigo for a limited amount of time. He had very little screen time, so I'm giving this episode a 9.5. If I was grading my reviews on like beyond zeros and fives, so I was like 1, 2, 3, 4, I would have gave this episode a 9.9. I'm particularly loving how they placed Oliver this season. You know, he's defeated Slade, so he feels that, you know, if I can defeat somebody like this, then I can go up against anybody else. So he's at a really calm and chillaxed moment in his life. But then when, you know, that missile came into the restaurant, everything changed gears, and he figured out that, you know, I can't be Oliver Queen. I can't have a luxury life because the city needs me. So he can't really have, you know, a second life anymore, and that second life being Oliver Queen. Before, he was like, I can't really do the things I do and still be Oliver Queen, so he was like regretting that he ever was on the hood. But now he just can't be Oliver Queen because the city needs him more when he is the Arrow. So really, he can't put anyone in harm's way. He can't really, you know, be Oliver Queen. He can't, you know, have feelings for people. I mean, he can, but it's just complicated for him to do that because those people are always going to end up getting hurt. Like with Felicity, she got hurt at the diner, and, you know, predicting that if something happened to Diggle, then that would leave Lila and their new baby devastated. So he can't really put the people he loves in danger. He has to pretty much do everything on his own and, you know, carry the weight on his shoulders. And Sara's death was amazing. I do sound a bit cruel right now, but I'm just telling you, it was flat out amazing. I'll go into more detail when I get into my top 10 moments. But, you know, I really love the way, you know, they killed her off. I mean, they didn't essentially kill her off, you know, just to get rid of her. They essentially did this to get on to a better standpoint, which is Laurel becoming Black Canary. But right now, the big question is, you know, who had killed Sara? And for what reason? When I first saw the episode, I thought it was Komodo, but then the episode description for episode 4, The Magician, released, and it was saying that Oliver has learned that Merlin's alive, so he believes that Merlin had killed Sara. So, you know, they still haven't found who had killed Sara beyond episode 2 and episode 3. So, it probably couldn't have been Komodo, but if it was, he was probably hired by somebody, probably the League of Assassins. Komodo is not associated with the League of Assassins. He's primarily an enemy of Oliver Queen, someone who was really close to his father, Robert Queen. But most definitely, the most likely reason, or the person that had killed Sara, was probably somebody within the League of Assassins. The reason being, you know, maybe Sara was plotting to, you know, reveal some secret to Oliver about the League of Assassins, their plans, and then, Sara ended up dead because Ra's al Ghul or somebody in a higher ranking of the League of Assassins found out that Sara had returned to Starling City and decided to have her killed. So it's a bit of a mystery right now. We're just gonna have to wait until episode 2. So now on to my top 10 moments, starting with number 10, the Olicity kiss. This was a bit of a bummer, a bit of situational irony. Oliver used to leave girls on, but now it's Felicity who's doing this. So I found this a bit of a bummer between the two. The relationship is going to be a bit rocky, a bit awkward in the next couple of episodes. Number 9, Ray Palmer's first appearance. Now, when I'd seen this scene in the tech store, I found this has a bad sign, because when I first saw Ray Palmer, the first thing that came to my mind is, oh, that's Brandon Routh, and that's not a good sign. That's like you can only see the actor as an actor. You can't see the character they're trying to portray. So that's going to be a major problem for me throughout the season. But I found Ray Palmer, being Ray Palmer, or Brandon Routh playing Ray Palmer when he was doing the presentation in Queen Consolidated and when he was in the hospital with Felicity. So it was probably because he was in his civvies, his regular clothes, but when he had the suit on, so that pretty much gave me more reason to think that it's Ray Palmer rather than thinking it's Brandon Routh. But there's plenty more episodes throughout this season. We're gonna get so much more Ray Palmer, so who knows what Brandon Routh has to bring to the table. Number 8, Ray Palmer's presentation. He completely outshined Oliver in this. Oliver's presentation really had zero motivation. He was only concerned in bringing back Queen Consolidated. His speech was very lacking, had zero effort, to, motivate these people to give him the job title. But Ray Palmer's presentation was amazing. He put some effort, gave this little PowerPoint presentation, whatever it was. He kind of cheated a bit, getting the numbers of Queen Consolidated when Oliver was running the company, but he gave the executive board motivation, to give him the CEO title, and he was concerned about Queen Consolidated, but he also wanted to rebuild Starling City after it's been attacked numerous times. Number 7, Oliver overcomes his fear of himself. This is for now. It's not over yet. The entire season is all about identity. Who is Oliver Queen? Or, who can Oliver be? Can he be himself, Oliver Queen, or should he be the Arrow? Number 6, Oliver fleeing from Maseo in Hong Kong. Now, when I saw this, I really had a good, foreshadowing about the flashbacks this season. The flashbacks this season are going to be great. Not just because they're in a different location than Lian Yu, but being in a different location, you can do so much more with the story. You can explore so many different things. How many times Oliver's trying to escape, or what Amanda Waller wants to do with him. It's really going to be great this season. That's all I have to say. Number 5, Captain Lance acknowledges the Arrow as a hero. I really loved how Oliver was behind Captain Lance when he was saying this. Quentin, he was saying maybe he's watching this right now, he didn't know that he was watching this right now, but in reality he was standing right behind him when he was giving that speech. So I really love that. Number 4, Count Vertigo's first appearance. I really love that Peter Stormare killed it, but I'm starting to think that Vertigo isn't much of a drug now. It wasn't really used as a drug. He was just really trying to raise his profile as a criminal boss, a crime boss. Vertigo, this episode was pretty much used more as a weapon, and it was pretty much used as the fear toxin that Scarecrow uses. And it's kind of a coincidence that they're bringing in the fear toxin kind of thing, and we're having Ra's al Ghul this season. It's sort of like the plot line between with Batman Begins. If you haven't seen Batman Begins, the storyline is that Ra's al Ghul tries to overtake Gotham by using Scarecrow's fear toxin and polluting the entire city with that toxin. Number 3, the opening sequence. Oliver running in the bushes. It was the same sequence as done in seasons 1 and 2. I especially love seeing Roy jumping from that car, flipping out, and then shooting the car tires of that train or the truck. And then, Oliver giving the traditional speech or the traditional lines, "You have failed this city." I really love seeing that. And then the title card came out, and the arrowhead looks really amazing, by the way. Number 2, Sara's death. I'm particularly glad that she's dead because we can move on to Laurel becoming the Black Canary, and Laurel's story arc is going to be amazing this season, but I'm particularly glad that she's gone because I found her story arc last season a bit confusing. And my number 1 moment, Oliver Queen versus the Arrow. This has never been done before and it looked visually amazing. I really loved it. I'm really blown as to what else the Arrow team can bring on into the season. More fight scenes like this, more visual concepts like this. And that's it for my review for episode 1 of Arrow. What did you guys think? Did you like the premiere episode? Leave me your thoughts in the comments below. And remember, I'll be doing reviews for all of the episodes this season of Arrow. All you have to do is subscribe. Subscribe to my other channel, Jenna9450. I do a lot of fandom vids there. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for updates on Arrow, The Flash, Gotham, etc. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.